Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato, Acacia Clement with you on another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach as Curlin Florida Derby weekend is now front and center. We kick it off today with a 9-race card, 14 tomorrow, 10 stakes. The excitement is building already.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Of course, tons of action culminating in that Curlin Florida Derby as race 14. But there's some really good maiden races on the card as well. And those undercard stakes came up very salty too, some competitive fields. So looking forward to that. It's always a tremendous day on the card throughout the championship meet.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're going to have some guaranteed pools, some big numbers in there, late pick 5, late pick 4. Of course, on Sunday too. We'll mention this later in the lightning round, but we got a mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six. Today, front and center, though, some excitement here as well. The Hall of Famer John Velasquez is on hand. We've got a great, benefit the PDJF here today and tomorrow.
Going on till 3 p.m. and Johnny V's over there now, and you could get your signed bobblehead. Of course, it's for a great cause. Support the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund and get your bobblehead. I know a lot of people like to collect these, so thanks to Uncle Louie G's and the team for bringing this all to fruition. And if you're coming out to Gulfstream today, you can head on over and get yours.
Yeah, without a doubt. Good to see Johnny back here in South Florida. We saw him early in the meet, and then, of course, he went out to our sister track at Santa Anita. Mentioned earlier about the mandatory on Sunday, but today on Friday, $650,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee.
Not too shabby, huh? It just keeps building. Starts in race number 4 today with a 9-race card, $650,000 gross jackpot guarantee. Ron Nicoletti will have a ticket, and we'll see. I'm anxious to see, though, Brian, the Curlin Florida Derby Day Rainbow Six ticket. Is it the magic 4320 or does it step up?
Well, I'll tell you what, you were out yesterday, but it was not the playbook yesterday.
No?
It was not. Brace yourself. It was not the 4320. So we'll see what Ronnie, I know, right? We'll see what Ronnie has in store. Hopefully the world's not coming to an end. That's in race 4 coming up. We'll take a look at Ronnie's ticket, but let's get it started here. 1:05 in the PM for the opener. We are on the Tapeta today. Quickly, this is a 12.5 maiden claimer, about 1 mile and 70. 3-year-old maidens here. Let's take a look at my early pick 5 ticket. A couple scratches, so we're down to $27. We'll talk about this race in a second. I go 54 in race 2, Loyal Louie on top. I got a lot of ones in there, but race 3 on top for me, Political Riot. Race 4, it is the one, Star Weaver, a big scratch of the 4 in that race. Malra will have a replay of Star Weaver. And then the single at the end, Financial System, to me, is loose and controlling off the Zerpa claim, much like he was last time. $27 on that early pick 5. Hopefully we can build a little bankroll for the huge day tomorrow. So let's get to the opener. I know you mentioned your quote-unquote long shot was in here. It's not happening right now, but we are 53 minutes away from post. Mets fans will like your pick, Koosman.
Yeah, Koosman for Timmy Hills in the opener here. Going back to basics, I think. 2 starts back, ran for 30. That was the only time going 2 turns, going a distance of ground. I think picking up a journeyman rider today, Junior Alvarado in the saddle, he was such a runoff 2 starts back when going a distance for the first time. I just think that, we saw the rider wasn't really able to control him that day, and I think Junior's going to be able to ration his speed a little bit more is my thought process. He's dropping in for the 12.5 as well. He ran against a really salty field last time out, even 2 starts back. That was a good group for 30. So I think it's the drop plus stretching out with the rider switch. He was 6-1 on the line. We'll see if we get any sort of price on him, but you'll definitely get a little bit more value than the favorite who's outside.
Yeah, he's an odd horse. I mean, you mentioned he ran off last 2 back, and I think last time he got run off his feet, cutting back. So now, hopefully, Junior can kind of thread the needle a little bit because it's not going to work if he opens up and goes a little crazy early. I go to outside the Universal horse here. I think is going to be the favorite. Safi and the Ramseys. We love those Ramsey horses. They've got a couple of them in here. Sonic Kitten for me on top ran very, very well last time for 12.5. Second off, a little bit of a layoff, lightly raced, seemingly improving.
That was the first time at this level as well. You've got Irad Ortiz here. Lots of things to like about this one. I agree. It just seems to be well spotted for Safi. He's logical about where to place these horses, and they are what they are. Safi's got 2. This one, the other one is Stolen Money, the 4, who takes a slight drop in class after running for 16 last time. And they have kind of similar running styles too, in that they both can kind of be tactical kind of in that first flight. So we'll see how things do shake out, but it's nice that he's got some good cushion on either end with these two.
Yeah, without a doubt. Upside with Sonic Kitten and Stolen Money. You're not getting it with Poetic Code, but one of these days he'll find his own level.
Jose Ortiz in the saddle for Antonio Sano. And as we say, these are the types of races that these two tend to swoop up and take. So I would leave Poetic Code off at your own peril.
One of these days he will get there. Race number 2, early pick 4 time here. We've got a couple of them today. This is a 12.5 3L. We stay on the Tapeta for 4 and up. This time we're sprinting a snappy 5 furlongs, both on the top pick here. Loyal Louis goes off the claim for Muhammad Mubarak. If you're not in the loop, you know, he's back. It's great to see him. He was here years ago and doing some good things. I think of those Buckram Oak Farm horses. He's going to claim Loyal Louis. The barn is yet to get a win, but the horses are running.
They are. I mean, you look and see he has 8 starters this winter, and 5 of them have hit the board. They've been running really well. Got a chance to catch up with Muhammad at the OBS March sale, and he says, you know, it's just about building up the stock as well and getting horses into the barn. So he's been active in the claim box and finding the right spots for them. Comes back at the same level for this horse, and he's going to get a great trip. I like that Javier Castellano stays as well after riding him. And you have some horses in here who are just a little bit tough to trust. I think between him and Campeador, they're kind of the ones to beat. Loyal Louis has the ability to be a little bit closer to the pace.
Well, I think that's a good mention on your part, because I don't want to see him be 7th like he was last time. I want to be a little bit closer. Conversely, let's take a look at our first replay of the day. This is Campeador 2 back when he runs everybody down. This is a monster effort at this trip from dead last here, basically swooping the field. It's a huge run. With that being said, it's just not the style that you want to employ here at Gulfstream, going 5 on the Tapeta, but boy, he was good this day.
Yeah, he certainly was, and able to run everybody down. As you said, you know, when we first started the meet, it seemed like the outside closers were faring the best on the Tapeta. Now it's really leveled off. At any stretch of the imagination, this kind of trip is going to put you up against it. But the fact that he's able to come between horses like he did, it was a huge effort. That was for the non-winners of 2 conditions. So he has to be able to step up now in the non-3. You can cross off that last race. That was 2 turns on the grass, which he clearly doesn't want.
Yeah, I agree. And we've got to try to find the pace in this race. It's probably Lucky as a 7, who we both have in the mix. You a tad higher than me. Not a huge weight guy, but we do get some here from with the apprentice Franklin Cailles aboard. It's a send mission, I would think.
He has that early speed, and that's the biggest, you would think, advantage that this horse does have. And you wonder, what's High Yield Kitten going to do? I didn't necessarily trust this horse. He wired the field with that huge buyer speed figure last time out. How does that shake out as far as the pace is concerned? But I thought of the quote-unquote speed, Lucky as a 7 was the one I wanted.
Yeah, and it was a dirt race last time, and High Yield Kitten. You see the Tapeta races there, not as good as that dirt race, so we'll see what we get from him today. One more before the break here, and then it's rainbow time. It's the 3rd. It's a 62.50 2L. Now we're going 7 on the main track. A couple of scratches here of the 6. Left hooks lights out. We had a replay of 61. He's out now. You land with the 2. Mamza all along, or did you scratch into him?
I had him all along. I had a really tough time with this race, to be honest with you. It's a big drop in class for Mamza, and I think it's kind of twofold here. As we've talked about several times with Claudio Gonzalez sending horses here. He's a trainer that's done remarkably well in the Mid-Atlantic. Very sharp claiming outfit, very sharp spotting horses. But it's not easy coming to the championship meet. And so what I'm kind of thinking is, okay, this horse has run twice here at Gulfstream this winter, hasn't fared well either time. So the connections are being logical and realistic and saying, look, he needs to drop down to a lower level in order to be competitive at this circuit. He's got tactical speed. I know it's a big drop, but he hasn't been stacking up in the last couple.
There's a lot of Mamzas in here, right? Because they're class droppers that you, quite frankly, don't know what to do with. I went with the 7, Political Riot. I did scratch into him. You don't really have him in your mix, but we're dropping here from the 12.5. He's, like I said, he's a lot like Mamza. Hasn't done a lot of running of late. Maybe the drop plays a little bit. Another of the Ramses down inside with Royal Kitten we've got in the mix as well.
Yeah, this one, Safi taking over the reins. This is a tough horse to trust. I mean, this is a horse that Wesley Ward got to win for $15,000 back in March of 2021. Now Safi takes over. He drops in for $6,250. Hasn't raced since June. What do you get? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. Check him out in the paddock. That's why we have you here at Gulfstream Park. Check the board, too. If this horse is up there like 7, 8 to 1, no, thank you. For me, let's take our first break here, and that means when we come back, it's Ronnie's in the Rainbow Six time.
And they're off. Second in the two-path. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Acacia with you, and we've been joined by...
And John Velasquez.
John Velasquez. We've been joined by the Hall of Famer. He's actually in person in the Breezeway Bar right over there, so if you're here watching us, go over. As we mentioned, a great cause benefiting the PDJF. $30 goes to a great donation, great cause.
That's right. Goes till 3 p.m. over in the Breezeway. As Brian mentioned, Johnny's here. They do bobble, in case you were worried. Looks great. The colors are beautiful. And more importantly, for a wonderful cause. And we thank the folks at Louis G's, as always, for making this possible. And go on over there and help support the permanently disabled Jockeys Fund.
So the wait is over. It's race 4. That means it's Rainbow Six time. We are back on the Tapeta, sprinting 5.5. We've got 4-year-olds and up. These are $10,000 claimers. The 4 and the 6 come out. Let's see what the legend has in store. There it is. Okay, we've returned to normalcy.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, 43.20 for Ron.
He's got a 3-horse spread in race number 4. Plenty of coverage. I think the most coverage in race 6, which is a tricky race indeed. $35,000 claiming race on the turf. 4 horses there, 3 in the 7th in that claiming race. It's a good one in the 8th, that allowance sprinting on grass. He's got the 1 Citrus Burst, the 3 Shecky Shabazz, and the 6 Jack and Noah, and then a single in the nightcap for Ronnie on Tapeta Yamato, who has absolutely loved this surface at Gulfstream.
Did you hear what you just said? A single.
A single.
That is.
I know.
That is borderline unprecedented for Ron. So he must like Yamato quite a bit.
Confident.
Yeah, not only that, and typically his long shot is in the finale. He goes the other way with a horse that definitely is going to be a strong favorite. Getting back to the Tapeta, we'll talk about it in a second. A couple big scratches here. I'll lead it off just because we have a replay of Star Weaver. Now, the replay was also going to include the 4 who comes out, Mara. But Star Weaver, here's Mara on the lead, and he's going to win. Here's Star Weaver out of your picture. And no disrespect to Steve Badu, but now we go off the claim for that guy, Jose D'Angelo. And this horse ran huge last time against the flow of the race. He's not even in your picture, or excuse me, weaving into the picture soon, actually. And I thought this was a big effort, Acacia. Now we go for a guy that's 30% off the claim.
Absolutely. I mean, that's huge. The biggest thing with this horse, and I get it, but he is just 3 for 20, and the win doesn't show on the page. I mean, this was a big effort from him for sure. Malraux, as you mentioned, wired the field, was able to hold on up the rail. Comes Star Weaver trying to get the victory there and ran a huge race. The question is, can he take that next step forward in here? Does he have enough pace to run it? I preferred a class dropper, but again, it's tough to trust some of these horses who maybe have their questions or are coming off maybe poor races.
Did you have Frenchman Street on top the whole way?
I did.
Cool horse, right?
He is. I mean, look, he's awesome. Obviously had Malroe in the mix. He's a hard-knocking campaigner. But Frenchman Street, he shows up no matter whose barn he's in. You got to love a horse like that. Jose Garofalo's been having a lot of winners this winter. The horses have been running. Leonel Reyes is going to be aboard once again. He was running against Unprecedented, who was speed in the last couple of races and is in great form right now. This horse is coming from off of it, and it's a big drop in class.
I don't know if we don't have such an award, but Unprecedented would probably be the Tapeta horse of the meet. He loves that stuff, and he's freakishly fast.
Yeah.
This is a huge drop for Frenchman Street, number 5, Red Mule for you. Another horse without a lot of speed. The flow of this race will be interesting, and another horse dropping in class, too.
He, too. His Tapeta race 2 starts back was actually pretty good behind Loyal Louie and Lucky as a 7. That was for 20, so he cuts back in distance, drops back in class, and Louis Saez takes the mount once again, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, without a doubt. Race 5 is going to kick off the late pick 5. We are back on the main track, a 1-turn mile for a 16 starter here, 4 and up. Let's take a look at my ticket. It had to be adjusted a little bit with some of the scratches. The single is in race 6. That's my best bet, Passion Plus in there. I go, I believe, 76 in race 7. Top pick, Devoted Kitten. We got a replay of that one coming up. And then I got a little spread in the late double, and the order is down inside. Citrus Burst for Jorge Delgado, first time in the barn. Looking for that one to move forward. And I'm not totally against Yamato, but he's a horse that I think excels going longer. I wonder if this is going to be a little tad bit short today, so I'll try to beat him on top. Certainly going to use him. Lamplighter Jack was my long shot in here, so we'll see. He might have come out, actually. We'll see what happens in the finale. Back to this race here, one scratch of the 5, Embrace My Uncle, who I had in the mix. We're both down inside now. To me, Acacia, Financial System is loose in here.
I think so, too. And not to belabor the point with a horse that's going to be a short price, but a stat from Gilberto Zerpa. If you ever have any concerns about a horse that won so big last time out, can they keep that momentum going? First off, the claim with winners last out on the dirt. The barn wins at 28% with this exact move, and it's a nearly even ROI as well, which I thought was pretty significant given how much these horses take attention and how much we often see this success. Jorge Delgado had this horse for several races, reclaimed him last time, got a big win with him. Gilberto Zerpa's got him now, and he's not in for the tag.
Well, you picked up on it. I love that angle when a barn claims a horse, and it's just you can see, you can just figure it out. He really likes the horse. I don't want to lose him. Here he is now, not for a tag. Number 3, Mr. Tito's found his form again last time when he absolutely ran off. He did get a good flow that day. The pace collapsed, but boy, he did it the right way.
He did. He won really impressively. 5-length win, just as you said. Jose Garofalo's horses have been in the right places this winter. And Julian Leberoux seems to have teamed up with him for some really nice victories as well. He'll stay aboard. He's stepping up in class, but he's coming in a good way.
I'm a G6. I hope, I guess, that it was the slop that did him in last time, because his form coming into that race last time was huge, and he didn't run at all.
I mean, you look at 4 races in a row with 80-plus Beyer speed figures, and then you see him with a 57 last time, and it was just a really disappointing effort. He didn't get out well. He started the race kind of poorly. He was coming out of the claiming crown. I wonder if it was a lot of things maybe catching up to him last time as well. So we could hopefully see a stronger performance today.
Not in for a tag. That's a positive. I'd be very worried if he was for sale today. Late pick 4 time in race 6. We get to the turf here. It's a good one, too. $35,000 claimer. Fillies and mares 4 and up. We're going a mile. We're both down inside. My best bet of the day. You land on Passion Plus 2. I would think it's a class drop. My
best bet as well. This one ran second in the claiming crown Tiara behind Sugar Fix, and this mare has just been struggling in her last couple of races. The unfortunate thing is that she doesn't have any early speed. She'll have plenty to run at in this race. There's a lot of speed signed on in here.
Well, that's exactly
Yeah.
what I picked up on, and it's kind of rare, and there's 8 horses in here. It's not like it's a robust field,
Yeah.
but boy, there's a lot of
There
speed. The drop, she's got to hit really, really hard in here. It's probably going to get bet too as well. Serenade a Kitten is going to try the turf here. Rohan Crichton, you go against him at your own peril.
Amen to that. Tyler Gaffleon picks up the mount too, and this one, I think, the last race was fine. She finished 3rd on the Tapeta, but her back races on turf were strong, so she has some back class. I think that she could potentially run back to.
Gustavo Delgado claims the 6 Alpha Babe. He's 25% off the claim. I've got this one a little higher than you. I like the tactical speed she showed last time. This is a rising class 22L from Jeremiah last time.
It is a step up. It was the condition non-winners of 2 last time, so she's facing tougher here, but she won nicely. She's always been consistent on the grass and at the right level too. And Gustavo Delgado, don't forget, this is a barn that is very sharp off the claim.
I agree totally. My Sweet Wife quickly for Peter Wall. They're off the claim as well, but Jorge Abreu, such a good turf trainer. I don't know if we can improve off him.
I thought exactly the same thing, and this is a mare I've chased a lot from all up and down the East Coast, and she's a little bit tough to trust.
Yeah, I agree. Late pick 3, last time for a pick 3 on the Friday card in the 7th, 4 and up here. 6,250 claimers going a 1-turn mile. You go to number 2, Tone Feel, and Kent Sweezy off the claim. Kent doesn't claim a lot of horses. I've said it quite a bit. I like that when a barn that doesn't typically claim a lot of horses dips in.
Yeah, we've seen a few claims this winter. It's not the highest percentage move for the barn. I certainly will admit that. And you're claiming off Victor Barboza, which is not an easy thing to do. But this one, I think, is drawn more towards the inside. Luis Saez stays, has a lot of speed, ran really well last time. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. He comes right back at the same 6250 level. I think he's just going to jump off and go and hopefully never look back.
Let's take a look at Devoted Kitten's last race. I put this one on top, and I just thought things really went against him. Now, this was on the Tapeta, obviously. He's out of your picture almost here. He's going to go really, really wide. It kind of looked like, to me, he lost a little bit of focus as well and flattened out late. But, it's tough to run through the turn and still keep it going. He doesn't really get bumped too much here, but he kind of gets floated out, pushed out. I thought he was kind of rolling here a little bit and then just came off of it. I'm looking for a little bit better run today getting back to the main track.
And that was also his first time off the claim for the barn. I think you can see him really just flattening out, just looking a little bit leg weary. And sometimes horses that don't favor the Tapeta, I've noticed that it can be a little bit more of a tiring surface for them, if that makes sense, if it's a surface that they don't get over very well. And it kind of looked to me like that was what happened with this one. He drops in for the 6250. Yes, they claimed him for 10. I see it as a lateral move in here. Second time with the barn, and Irad Ortiz stays after a kind of flat effort.
The other thing I like, too, the last time this horse was on the main track, I mean, those starter optional claimers are a lot better than this group he faces today. Blessed Journey, both of us have this one in second. Jose off the claim.
That's all you have to say.
Yep.
Jose D'Angelo dips in to claim a horse, and this is one who also takes a little bit of a drop in class off the claim as well.
Late double time in the 8th, and we're back on the turf. It's a good race here at 6250 optional claimer for 4-year-olds and up, 5 furlongs. You've got the 4, the Virginian on top. You could make a case for literally every horse in this race.
You absolutely could, and you have the one Citrus Burst, and I'll turn the torch over to you in a moment, but I looked at that horse for such a long time because I had such a tough time deciphering who was really going to get the best trip in here. And I just kept going back to the Virginian. And I've always had a bit of a soft spot for this horse. And I know that his most recent win did come on the Tapeta versus the turf, but it shows up every single time. And one thing I like about him is that he tends to automatically land in the right spot. He's kind of in that first flight, right off the pace setter. He can kind of take over right when it's needed. Javier rode him last time. Got run down by Natural Power last time out off a little bit of a layoff. He's now second off that slight freshening too. He's a tough cookie.
The Hall of Famer Javier Castellano has done a great job throughout the championship meet putting horses in the spots that give him the best chance, and he's won a lot of races because of that. You mentioned Citrus Burst, where I land. Jorge Delgado's 30% new horses in the barn. Gets this one from Jeff Engler, who does a very good job in Kentucky. Chantel is here. They're about 25% together. This horse, to me, was good enough as is, and I got a feeling maybe we're moving forward today with this new barn.
Yeah, a little bit of a freshening since the start of January. It's run really well on the turf here at Gulfstream. If you want to nitpick, it's been a long time since we've seen the win. That was back in January of 2021. But same thing, like I mentioned with the Virginian. I mean, this is a horse that always shows up, and you have to respect it. There's some tough turf sprinters in here.
Speaking of which, your old buddy, Shecky Shabazz, is in here. I'm printing 8 PP lines now, not anymore. My PPs don't have a 1 next to any of them.
December 2019 was the last one. Yeah, and the Claiming Crown Canterbury. It's been a while. He tries every time, same thing. But that's the problem with Shecky, is that sometimes he just ends up coming up a little bit short. And he's tough. I mean, he's a cool horse. He shows up. He loves to train. He runs well. He's got speed. But you wonder, can he take that step forward and get to the winner's circle?
2 to 1, 2 to 1, 6 to 5, 8 to 5, 2 to 1. He gets bet too, and he doesn't win. So this type of course you kind of want to fade a little bit. We'll wrap it up in the 9th. We're back on the Tapeta. Ronnie's got the one Yamato singled in the 16 starter, 4 and up, 1 mile and 70 on the Tapeta. You're doing kind of the same thing that I'm doing, and strike the top. On top for you, Chris Davis has been snake bitten a little bit at the championship meet, but boy, his horses are running. He's had some hard luck, and he's a synthetic guy that knows how to get to the winner's circle on this surface.
I agree. I thought if you're looking for a potential alternative, and I share your sentiments with Yamato, and that was my thought about him even 2 and 3 back, that it was just a little bit short for him. And yes, he's liked the Tapeta, but he's going to be a very short price today as a result. So strike the top. I thought the last race was very good. He had to be wide that day. Junior Alvarado takes the call. I think he could just be finding himself in the right place.
Yeah, I agree. He's in an interesting spot here, tactical as well. I must be losing it because I told the guys that I have no long shot today, but it is Lamplighter Jack. He is, in fact, running. He is, in fact, my long shot, so I'll get that cleaned up a little bit. And I had 2 replays I was supposed to send over that I didn't, so pardon me. And it is the last race, you know.
It's the penultimate day before the Florida Derby.
You said it. I liked it. Have to use that word when it's applicable. I thought this horse ran pretty good, Acacia, 2 back on the Tapeta. He set the pace that day. Yamato ran him down. I don't think he has to be on the lead. Javier's got a speed horse to his inside with Kitten Spa might go a little bit. The fact that Outshine comes out, maybe Lamplighter Jack does go. I thought it was a sneaky good effort trying Tapeta for the first time.
I agree. I thought that with Outshine coming out, who I actually liked quite a bit today, he had a real trip last time. But in any event, I thought that could make things a little bit interesting because I was very intrigued by Conglomerate, who won impressively in a 12-5. Marty Drexler claimed him, stepped him up to starter allowance, and he won nicely last time too. Is he a horse that's just found his home on the Tapeta? Can he keep it going? How good is he actually? I think we'll find out a little bit more about him today.
Well, let's talk about Yamato before we wrap it up. He's going to be favored. Ronnie's got him singled as the anchor in his 43-20. He's a cool horse. He's a good horse.
Yeah.
He did gut it out to get up 3 back at this trip. Maybe I'm a little hard-headed. I still think it's short for him. And now, you mentioned the horse Outshine that you liked a lot. With him coming out, I think it hurts Yamato because there's not as much pace in this race anymore.
That's true. He runs his best races when he comes from off of it. He's not one that can really be too forwardly placed. And Luis Saez has ridden him in his last several starts. He knows how to time it with this horse, and I think you do have to time it pretty carefully because looking at what he's been running, he's not one that's going to win by 5 going away.
No, without a doubt. And he's going to be a short number in here, too. And he couldn't get it done at 1 to 5 last time when Road to Meath forgot to stop at a huge number. Not really holding that against him, but that's the kind of scenario that could play out today. So we'll see what happens. That's the 9 of them as the calm before the storm. That is 14 races tomorrow on Florida Derby Day, Curlin Florida Derby Day. Before we leave you, though, of course, the lightning round. We got a lot to get to. Stronach 5 up first, Overlay City on a Friday.
12% takeout, $1 minimum wager. We've got all the tracks in play. Kicks things off at Laurel Park. Race 9 there, just a little bit before 5 o'clock as far as Gulfstream is concerned. We have our nightcap in the mix, as we just talked about. Very interesting race there, right in the center of the sequence.
The gang's all here, everybody. Laurel, San Santa Anita, Gulfstream, wrap it up with Golden Gate out on the West Coast. Beat the Expert, of course, is tomorrow, and yours truly is in the fire.
Are you ready? You look ready in that picture.
I will not be wearing my Beat the Expert standard outfit. I can tell you that. I did make a trip down from Fort Lauderdale. So 14 races. We'll see. I'm hoping to post a good number, but
yeah, big day for Beat the Expert.
Big day, big stuff, big day. And of course, it's Florida Derby Day. 14 races, 10 graded stakes. The betting pools will be huge. I can't wait to kick it off at 11:30 a.m.
And you could go to Gulfstreampark.com, RSVP for the general admission. Check out all of the information there, dining options, whatever you still need to do before tomorrow. We'll have guaranteed pools as well in the late pick 4, late pick 5, $750,000 apiece.
And of course, it culminates around 6:38 in the p.m. Here's the slate as well. We've got, what is that, 6 graded stakes races, turf, dirt. Of course, the Derby is the centerpiece, as I mentioned, 6:38 in the p.m. We'll take a look at the field here. Simplification. Got to talk and chat with Pete last night. It was good to see him. 7:50, and we'll have no problem. We skipped that. My apologies. We'll have no problem blowing by those. And Simplification, 5-2 morning line favorite in a race where I think you could go many different ways if you want.
Absolutely. Fountain of Youth winner coming in good form for Antonio Sano. We'll see if he can pick up another one, but he's got some tough competition in that Curlin Florida Derby.
Without a doubt. And, of course, the supporting feature on a race in a card loaded with supporting features and stakes races tomorrow is the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Kathleen O is going to try to keep her undefeated record intact.
And I think that she should. She's 4-5 on the morning line. She's going to be tough. Jonathan Thomas did tell me that Katish will be scratching, so you can take note of that. Goddess of Fire, second choice for Todd Pletcher. Obviously, she's got a lot of talents as well, but Kathleen O for Shug McGahee has just been so good.
It's an important scratch, too, because Kathleen O trying 2 turns for the first time in the short stretch, short finish line. We lose a lot of speed in that race.
Agreed.
Keep that in mind. Last but least but not last but not least.
Whatever Ronnie says.
Whatever it is mandatory day on Sunday.
Yeah, of course. The estimated over $5 million. I'm sure it'll be way past that, but we have 11 races on the Sunday card, April 3rd, to close out the championship meet. It's
a gross jackpot, by the way. Estimated, as you said. I've got the over. I always do. But we've got 9 on tap today. By the way, the 11:30 first post tomorrow, so you and Ronnie on at 10:30 Gulfstream today. Set the alarms a little bit earlier tomorrow morning. A phenomenal day. We've got a good one today here as well. Coming up on race 1, we'll send it upstairs to announcer Pete Aiello for the scratches.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.